do our parliament business here in Kampala. I am one of the few members who was also here in 2018, so we're always grateful. Right Honourable Speaker, I would also like to take this opportunity before I get into the substantive answers to invite my fellow colleagues to enjoy the wonderful nightlife here in Kampala. I am a well-traveled gentleman. I'm telling you that there is no better nightlife than here in Kampala, in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. So young members, old members, middle-aged members such as myself, do take the opportunity to enjoy your weekends here. Right, Honourable Speaker, after that short announcement, let me get to answering some of the questions that were put to us. I will deal with two issues, Right Honourable Speaker. The first issue is the issue of, there was the young lady in the front here asked why some countries are using passports and some countries are using national IDs. It is a question of preparedness. Some of the countries within the community still don't have national IDs. We all gained independence at different times and we're all developing at different times. So Rwanda, Kenya and Uganda, I believe, have moved to the stage of using IDs, and countries like Tanzania that already have IDs, once they are ready and prepared, they will also follow. So that one is a simple one to answer. There is also the issue, the first gentleman who is at the back there, I think his name is Vincent, also discussed about the school of thought that maybe we should remain as 6-7 members and develop first and then add other members. We are all East Africans and brothers here in Africa. When one member nation is asking to join in order to develop, you can't tell them, no, wait first, us guys we're first eating here and then you can come later. You can't do that. So when you're opening, for another analogy would be if you're holding an umbrella, 6 of us are holding an umbrella and your young brother comes in and can't open the umbrella. You tell them, no, wait first, wait, no, you first help them to open the umbrella as well, come and stand with us. So as East Africans and Africans, whoever applies and they meet the limited criteria that has been put, we let them join. And that is more an issue for the summit. Yes, but I think our opinion, or even just as human beings, you can't hold people back because they are not doing as well as you are. That's not the way we operate. With those short comments, Right Honourable Speaker, I give you back the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Arusha, welcome to Uganda. We have, as the Right Honourable Speaker has extensively elaborated, we have quite a broad range of issues that we would want to engage, first to consider in Parliament, but also would want to engage extensively with members of the public. So you as members of the media, we invite you to take interest in the activities that the Assembly is going to have in the next 3 weeks. But want to thank the President for setting the tone for this plenary, because tomorrow he is going to give an opening address to the Assembly, and this is part of the tradition of EALA. Everywhere, in every country that we go to, the President of that partner state addresses and raises the critical issues that we consider as an Assembly, and indeed we thank the President for giving us the opportunity tomorrow. He will set the tone for this particular plenary that we are going to conduct. There has been a lot of interest coming from the public, Ugandan public, on this plenary. And as an Assembly, we maintain an open door policy. We invite the different stakeholders, different members of the public, organized institutions to come and present some of the critical issues that they consider should be handled by the Assembly. We will provide that opportunity for them to petition the Assembly. The process of petitioning the Assembly is very, very easy. If members of the public have a specific agenda, specific issue that they would want to present to the Assembly, they will write officially, and through the office of the clerk, the Assembly will be notified, and that will be escalated to the office of the Speaker, and the Speaker will grant permission for the petitioners to engage with a specific committee, relevant committee. So it's a very straightforward process. So we invite members of the public to come and present their issues. We are also going to be involved in a lot of outdoor activities. We are going to be involved in sports with Parliament of Uganda and also other sports organizations within the country. So we are open to have as much engagement as possible with the public on matters of sports. So this is basically now here represented are all the partner states, and maybe by way of introduction, allow me to take this opportunity to introduce, and I will not do it by name, but I will just ask the partner states that I call upon to just stand up. Thank you very much. On the question of accountability, indeed, this Assembly has been the lone voice, if you may wish to call it so, in the EAC that has been calling for accountability, because it's our function. Because it's part of our function. Our function is legislation, oversight, and representation. So as an oversight body, we oversight the implementation of the treaty, we oversight the implementation of existing rules, regulations, and implementation of the budget. Indeed, when we received a petition from the public and also using the institutions that are within our disposal, we have what we call the Audit Commission that annually prepares the audit report, which audit report is property of the Assembly. Usually we exhaustively debate and come out with resolutions. Now, on the allegations pertaining to the misuse of resources, this is a matter that is in the committee, and I would not wish to preempt what the committee is going to present in the House. So I would rather that instead of going into the depth of what is contained in the report, that you as journalists would attend the plenary, and during the plenary, a report is going to be presented which will exhaustively cover areas that are probably of your interest in as far as the accountability is concerned, and also very specifically on what you called misappropriation, mismanagement of funds by the Secretariat. It's contained in one of the businesses that the Right Honourable Speaker just talked about here. So it's a matter that is within the committee and is going to be presented in the House. I don't think I'm in a very comfortable place to begin to disclose matters that are being handled at the committee level. But when the committee presents it, then it becomes a document that we can comment about. So that's my view on has done extensive investigation, and a report of which shall be presented to the House for consideration. Going forward, I think there is need to understand how the Assembly functions. This is where there is, and this may probably even cover the question that was earlier on asked about the effectiveness of the Assembly. You have to look at it holistically in the broader context of the structure and the power relations within the EAC. The Assembly is provided for under the treaty and has very specific functions. And as an assembly, we work within the precincts of the law, within the four corners of the law that establishes the assembly. We can't go outside that. And in the current dispensation, in the current EAC formation, we do not have a state of our own as EAC. We are dependent on the partner states for implementation of whatever decision that the assembly undertakes. It's different from the national assemblies. In our national assemblies, you sit with your ministers, you make resolutions, you ask them to appear the next week, you ask them to show cause why they should not be, reprimanded. But for the case of the assembly, we function differently. Our work is based on the effectiveness of partner state institutions. So we work with the different partner states. That is why, for example, we are at different levels of our integration. If you assess the levels of our integration, you see that they are different from one partner state to the other. And that is essentially because we have different institutional frameworks and different efficiency levels in our different partner states. So, it is unfair to say that the assembly is doing nothing. Because in as far as we are concerned, our work is to ensure that we do the oversight, bring it, prepare reports, present it to Council of Ministers, and allow the Council of Ministers to escalate it, because it's the Council of Ministers that has the support institutions to implement the resolutions of the Assembly. We do not do that. Ours is a political one, and our work is to make sure that we bring to the public matters that concern the public and bring it to the attention of the Council for implementation. So the Assembly's work, if you are interested, you're going to see that the Assembly has done extensive work, except that the implementation is the role of the executive, and in this case our executive is the Council of Ministers. Thank you.
I think that some of our friends, brothers and sisters do not know how our community is seen from abroad. Yes, we have some challenges, but the impact is not so bad. Some days ago, it was last week, we were in Geneva with we had this meeting with the IPU, Inter-Parliamentary Union, and the president is an East African lady. Do you know who? It's Dr. Tulia, the Speaker of Tanzania National Assembly. She's leading more than 194 countries. We're together there. And the ECOWAS delegation came to us. They came to us insisting and requesting to come to Arusha, to learn on how to manage the regional bloc. ECOWAS is this West African country. There are 18 countries, but they recognize that EAC is doing better than they do. And 1 month ago, we had received in 1 or 2 months, we received in Arusha a delegation from Congo in Kinshasa, the Great Lakes member of parliament who came, who was leading them. He's a Ugandan. Yes, Onyango Kakoba, who's from Uganda. He had come to learn from Arusha, from EALA, on how to structure his Great Lakes Parliament. These Central African countries, they are all coming to Arusha, to EALA, to EAC, to learn on how to fix the parliament. The PAP, the SEDEC, all of those are coming to see how we do things. And because we are doing well, others, partner states, are requesting to join. Somalia has joined. Maybe tomorrow Ethiopia will ask, will request to join. Maybe Eritrea. You know, when you are doing well, everyone loves you. So, dear colleagues, as Honorable Kakoza was saying it, we have some challenges, but do not consider us with negative spirit. We're doing well in EAC. Honorable Ndangiza briefed you about of those projects that we are achieving. This is very important. Of course, EAC, we still have to go far and to get known from Arusha. We have to reach the villages. Our citizens have to know what East African Court of Justice is doing and how it does. These challenges we are facing on borders, Namanga, everywhere, we still have these challenges, but we are doing better than other regional blocks. So, dear colleagues, brothers and sisters from the Fourth Estate, we have to be proud of our region, our East Africa. We have to be proud of it. These security challenges, DRC, Rwanda, Burundi, will overcome them tomorrow. It's not the first time. We had the same concern when Rwanda and Uganda, Burundi and I don't know, but we have overcome this situation. It is not in EALA mandate to get involved in getting solution in conflicts. EALA is a kind of example of unity of East Africans. That's why we rotate in doing our business. We have to be an example. When our leaders, the summit, the head of state, the ministers, are handling those situations of conflicts, we do not stop working together as EALA members. We continue. That's what we are doing. I think that I can stop here. I thank again the Ugandan leaders, the head of state, the speaker, the Ugandan, especially for tomorrow when the president will open and take our voices far. Take it from Kampala, take it to your villages.
Federation fall under the Committee of Regional Affairs and Conflict Resolution. The community has also set out the elders, eminent persons, led by the former Chief Justice of Uganda, the Justice Benjamin Odoki, and Amos Wako. They are leading the process of drafting the constitution of the East African Confederation. Countries like Uganda, Kenya, Burundi have already done the consultations. Countries like the Republic of Rwanda are set to complete the consultations by December, and countries like Tanzania are also set to complete by January. And then we'll be rolling out with the other countries like South Sudan, and also consultation will be done in Burundi. Remember, rather DRC, remember it was not on board, and then the Federal Republic of Somalia. So we've set a parameter, and Parliament has done the role. Now the committee led by those eminent persons will be tabling the report in terms of the Constitution, because we must have a benchmark of a law that will be followed. And like Honorable Donga said, that will test drive the long-term goal of political confederation. On the matters of security, you know that the EAC rides on four pillars, which is the custom union, which is the common market, which is a political federation, but eventually, of course, monetary union. But for all those to be achieved, security, peace and security are key pillars. For our traders to be free to trade to Burundi, Bujumbura, to Dar es Salaam or Dodoma, to Nairobi, to Kampala, to Kigali, to Juba, to Kinshasa and Mogadishu, peace must prevail. And as a community and the Regional Affairs Committee, we have done the assessment and engaged within the partner states. The final recommendation for that matter is that there should be continuous engagement and discussion. And that's the matter under the summit. And the summit of presidents are dealing with that matter. Remember, we set out the East African Peace and Standby Force, which was dealing with the matters of peacifying the region from within, but also the other sentiments of engagement, of border closure, the continuous discussion. Those are matters that as a committee, we have done a referral to the summit to deal with the matter. This assembly, we expect that the report on security and foreign relations is going to be laid to the House for us to do the assessment, to assess on where are we standing on matters of peace and security and foreign relations. And remember that the role of this assembly is oversight. We oversight on Article 102, Article 123, Article 124. 123 is on political matters. And then 124 is on sharing on matters of peace and security. The treaty is very clear that we shall share information relating to matters of peace and security. And of course, 125 is on defense liaison issues and the assessment. We have the early warning unit that is dealing with matters in terms of assessing or where are we. So as assembly, we believe that we are on our role in terms of doing that. After this assembly, my committee will be going to Juba. What are we doing in Juba? In assessing the progresses made with the peace talks and peace initiatives for the South Sudan because remember how South Sudan is running is on a peace agreement. We want to assess how far the peace agreement has done. The last 2 months, we've been doing assessing on the police centers of excellence to assess issues on how ready our police is to do the assessment on matters of cyber crime, issues of forensics, and all those. So as assembly, we believe that we are doing the engagement in line of where the law puts us. We put it the council, but like I said, this is a top matter which is under the summit to assess the progress is made in terms of matters of peace and security. I also want to allay the fears of my sister. The AU has said the East African community is the fastest growing community. And remember, it's the only REC in the region with parliament. What does the role of parliament? The Honorable Ambassador Fatuma has told you. So for you to place parliament on what they have done, we have done the laws to enable a lot of these things to happen so that our people can benefit. And I want to tell Ugandans, East Africans that are here, there are a lot of things that they are benefiting from, but they don't know that they have come as a result of the assembly and as a result of the community. For instance, all the trading areas that now within 3 days you can clear your cargo. Initially, it took you 3 months. We have passed a law on electronic cargo clearance. you can now sit in Kampala and clear your cargo electronically without going to Malaba, Busia, Elegu, and wherever you want to. So those are all things I think that we'll be doing here will be to also create awareness in terms of what are the enabling laws that the Assembly has done. Thank you so much, Mr. Right Honorable Speaker.